Welcome to Unit 3, Section 3 of Geometry, proving triangles congruent, SSS, SAS. This is just the first two. SSS postulate. SSS stands for side, side, side. If there exists a correspondence between the vertices of two triangles such that three sides of one triangle are congruent to corresponding sides of the other triangle, the two triangles are congruent. What? That's a lot of language. Let's see if we can't make it a little simpler to understand. Let's try it again. If all three sides of a triangle are congruent to three sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. And it looks like this. Three pairs of corresponding sides are congruent, right? You have this first one here, right? You have one mark here that's congruent there. All right. We have two marks here that's congruent, that matches up with these two. And then we have three over here, and that matches up with the three over here. SAS postulate, side angle side postulate. If there exists a correspondence between the vertices of two triangles such that the two sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding parts of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Yeah, that's too much language. Let's see if we can try something different. If two sides and the included angle from one triangle are congruent to two sides and the included angle of another triangle, then those two triangles are congruent. Now, I'm not sure if that's better or worse, but this diagram should help. Okay, so you'll see here what we have. We have a side, and this is congruent to this. And then we have this angle right here that's in between, and we have an angle right here that's in between, and then we have a final side right here. These two sides are congruent. Side, angle, side. Okay. Then we have two congruent triangles. We're not done. What? You're kidding me. We covered SSS and SAS. No, we're going to prove triangles congruent using ASA and AAS. Two more methods. What? Okay, so an included side is the side between two consecutive angles of a polygon. So, if we look at triangle ABC here, segment AC is the included side between angle A and angle C. The included side, it's between the two angles. Okay, so if two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles and the included side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So again, I have this angle here congruent to this angle here. I have this side that's in between these two triangles here. And then I have this angle here congruent to this one here. Okay, so angle, side, and then an angle. So in this case, if angle A and angle D, side, segment AB congruent to segment DE, and angle B congruent to angle E, then triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Okay, now if two angles and the non-included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles on the non-included side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So in this instance here, what we have is, again, angle and then another angle, and then this side is not in between them. Now, how can that be? Well, if you remember, we learned a theorem called the third angle theorem, which says if angle A is congruent to angle D and angle B is congruent to angle E, then the remaining two angles are congruent. Well, that would look like angle side angle. So we can build off of angle side angle and third angle theorem and realize that this also makes these triangles congruent. So if angle A is congruent to angle D, and then angle B is congruent to angle E, and then the sides, segment BC is congruent to segment EF, then triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Hey, we now have 4 methods of proving triangles congruent. Side, side, side. Side, angle, side. Angle, side, angle. Angle, angle, side.
When you find yourself in danger, when you're threatened by a stranger, when it looks like you will take a licking, there is someone waiting who will hurry up and rescue you. Just call for Super Chicken. But if you're afraid, you'll have to overlook it. Besides, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. People drink his super sauce and throws the bad guys for a loss, and he will bring them in alive and kicking. There was one thing you should learn when there was no one else to turn to. Call for Super Chicken. Call